Hey guys and gals, this is Alex with Legendary Apartment Brokers here in Kansas City. Today is Monday, December 15th, still 2025, and this is the KC Multifamily Minute, where I cover every single new opportunity for your 1031 exchange, or if you're an active real estate investor, what to look for in the open market, what we got coming on every single week. I cover every single new opportunity that's $500,000 plus and built before 2020. Let's get right into it. So statistics for this week. Over here on the MLS, there's actually 64 listings out there. 54 of those are available, which means 10 are under contract. So 54 over there that you can go out there, look at, evaluate, get your feet wet on. You can email me, alex@legendarypartnerbrokers.com, alex@legendaryab.com, and we can look at these deals together, see what might pencil for you, okay? So we also have 3 new ones out here on the MLS, which I'll cover here in a second. Some of which are interesting, some of which are less interesting, we'll call it. But nonetheless, 3 different new ones to look at. And then podcast listeners hopping over here to LoopNet. It shows that there's 2 new listings out here. There's really just one because the other one's a duplicate with the MLS. 38 total on LoopNet. 34 of those are listed as available to look at. Many of these are $1 million plus, so a little bit different data set, a little bit different property type here. Like I said, there's one new one. So we're going to pop back over to my website, legendarypartnerbrokers.com, and look at the 3 new ones. First up is just this house package here. So podcast listeners, I'm zooming in to just east of 71 Highway. It's actually a list of a whole bunch of different houses. It's 11 units for basically a little less than $1.1 million. Not a bad deal, really. Look like they've been rehabbed. We got decks. We got newer interiors. We've got, a fourplex. We've got a duplex here. If you're in the market to buying a package east of 71, could be an interesting fit. We've got a house on 22nd, fourplex on East 22nd, duplex on Lawndale. We've got a house on 63rd Agnes, Euclid, Park Avenue, and East 82nd. So you can tell it's all east of 71 Highway, but price is right, rents are, it basically hits a 1% rule, which is pretty good for houses, but you got to be prepared to own, operate, and manage in this area with a package like that. But if you are interested, let's take a look together and we can talk about those details there. All right, so what else is new on the open market on the MLS? Getting back into it, we have more of a commercial property here. Our podcast listeners, I'm zooming in. It's right in Columbus Park, which is just east of the River Market, north of downtown on Missouri Avenue. A little hard to understand what exactly it is, but basically it's a commercial building with some opportunity to add more, have a retail tenant in there, have an office in there, have a couple of units in there, that kind of thing. There's some green space out back, plenty of opportunities, but it's $3 million. So keep that in mind when you're looking up here. If you want to be a development project, could be an interesting opportunity for that. But it's not a true typical multifamily acquisition where it's set and forget, do some multifamily management and you're all good to go. There'll be some more complexities to it, but kind of a cool spot. Location, of course, is amazing, and opportunity is there for ambitious people to go ahead and take that down, okay? All right, so last opportunity here on the MLS, it's new this week, is going to be, podcasters are zooming in here west of Southwest Traffic Way, heart of Midtown, 39th Street District, we'll call it. Well, it's right across the street from Q39, if you're familiar with that. Barbecue spot. So it's a 6plex for $659,000. Great little location here off of 39th, like directly off 39th Street. It's got a mix of some 2 bedrooms, some 1 bedrooms. There might be a studio in there. There's laundry in the basement. There's some units that have laundry. Kind of an interesting fit here for somebody that wants to go ahead and take it down. I think some of it does need a little bit of work here and there. It's not major work. It's maybe $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 per unit to get into tip-top shape for that location. It does have off-street parking in the back, which is huge for this location. Many things I like about it, but it's not a turnkey asset for $660,000. So anyway, reach out to me, alex@legendarypartnerbrokers.com. We'll talk about that one. If you love the Midtown market, could be a nice little fit for you there. Okay. All right. So zooming back out, making sure we got all of our bases covered here for the 3 new listings. Nothing in the suburbs really this week. So that's it there, MLS. So let's pop over here to LoopNet. And we have ourselves one new listing. Remember, I covered this one here for podcast listeners. Got the 39th Street property on there. Down here in Belton, there's a 7-unit for $500,000 off of North Scott Avenue. Belton's a nice little market. Sometimes it's Class A, B, and sometimes Class C location. 7-unit for $500,000. Standard kind of apartment complex, suburban. It looks like it's maybe a converted house of some point, some kind in the past. As I'm thumbing through some photos here, might need some concrete work, but it has been updated. Some of the units, but again, 7 units for $500,000 is a pretty good deal in a class. We'll even call it a Class B minus location. So I'm not sure how much longer this one will really last here. But I'm anticipating being some work here on some of the remaining units. Not sure how amazing the rehab on some of the other units have been, but again, $71,000 per unit is a pretty good location in the Class B suburb of Kansas City. Okay, so reach out to me, Alex at legendaryparkbrokers.com, and we can talk about that one as well. All right, so popping back over here. That's all the new opportunity, guys. We had a rate cut last week. I don't know if anybody knows. I haven't seen hardly anybody talk about it. But rates are pushing lower. Commercial rates are maybe 6.5%, 6.25%, 6%. Hopefully those continue to trend down. Once we get into the 5% range, I think, it'll be gloves are off and everybody's back in buying. Things pencil a lot better. So get back in the market, take a look at things, do a repencil on everything that you were looking at, maybe close to 7. Now you're able to get down closer to 6. That could be a big deal on some of these larger deals. So why don't you go ahead and email me, Alex at legendaryparkbrokers.com, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.